Sweet ladies and handsome gentlemen, imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, looking out over a vast horizon where the sky kisses the earth. You feel a sense of possibility, an electric pull in your chest, a whisper that says, "There's more for you than this." That whisper is your dream. It's not small, it's not convenient, and it certainly doesn't wait for the right moment. It's big, bold, terrifying, and it's calling your name. But instead of leaping forward, most people step back. Why? Not because they don't have dreams. Everyone does. But too many let their dreams stay imprisoned in their imagination, locked away by fear, perfectionism, or the illusion that the timing must be just right. The truth is, dreaming big is not reserved for the lucky or the privileged. It's not something that belongs only to visionaries, billionaires, or inventors. It belongs to you. The capacity to dream big is stitched into your DNA. Whether you want to change the world, change your community, or simply change your own life, it starts with the courage to dream without limits. It's easy to underestimate yourself. It's easy to look at where you are and think you're too far behind, too underprepared, too average to pursue something extraordinary. But history has shown us again and again, it's never the most perfect person who wins, it's the one who starts, and that's where the magic lies. Starting small doesn't make your dream any less significant. In fact, it makes it more achievable. We often romanticize the overnight success, forgetting that behind every triumph are years of silent struggle, tiny wins, and relentless effort. Starting small is not weakness, it's strategy. It's where your dream begins to take shape in the real world. A single action, writing one page, making one call, waking up an hour earlier, can be the spark that sets your whole journey on fire. But here's the part most people miss. You must act now, not next week, not after the degree, not when the stars align. Now, the longer you wait, the quieter that inner voice becomes. Action is what turns a dream into a plan, and a plan into a reality. Every second spent hesitating is a second lost to someone else's agenda, someone else's dream. If you're waiting for certainty, you'll be waiting forever. Action doesn't require certainty. It requires courage. And courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward in spite of it. So the question is not whether you have a dream worth chasing. The real question is whether you're willing to start small and act now. Because your big dream doesn't begin someday. It begins the moment you stop waiting and start moving. And that moment could be now. We are all born with the ability to dream, but somewhere along the way many of us stop doing it. Life gets busy, responsibilities pile up, fear creeps in, and slowly that childlike wonder, the one that used to imagine flying, inventing, or changing the world, starts to fade. But the truth is, the capacity to dream big never leaves us. It just gets buried under doubt, distraction, and the pressure to be realistic. That's why dreaming big isn't just a motivational cliche. It's a radical act of courage. It's a refusal to let the world shrink your imagination. To dream big is to say, "I believe there's something more for me." It's planting a flag in your future and declaring that your current reality is not your final destination. It's choosing to think beyond your circumstances, your limitations, and even your past. People who dream big are not always the most talented, the most educated, or the most connected, but they have one thing in common: vision. And vision changes everything. When you have a powerful vision, a dream so bold it almost scares you, it gives your life direction. It gives meaning to your struggle and clarity to your decisions. You stop drifting, you start aiming, you begin to weigh your time, your energy, and your effort against something that matters. You stop saying yes to distractions and start saying no to anything that doesn't align with where you're going. Look at the people who changed the world: Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey, Elon Musk, Malala Yousafzai, Nelson Mandela. What made them different wasn't just talent or opportunity, it was vision. They had dreams that went beyond what people thought was reasonable. They imagined a future that didn't yet exist, and then devoted themselves to building it. Their dreams made people uncomfortable. Their goals seemed impossible, but they didn't shrink their vision to fit the world. They worked to expand the world to fit their vision. The problem for most people isn't that they aim too high and fail. It's that they aim too low and succeed. When you only set goals based on what you already know you can do, you limit yourself to yesterday's potential. Dreaming big means choosing to be uncomfortable. It means setting goals that stretch your capacity, that force you to grow, that make you feel nervous, but also excited. If your dream doesn't scare you, at least a little, then it probably isn't big enough. But dreaming big is not just about ambition or success. It's about purpose. It's about contribution. Your dream has the power to serve others. It can inspire people. It can solve problems. It can create opportunities, not just for you, but for your family, your community, and even the world. That's why dreaming big is an act of responsibility. It's not about ego, it's about impact. Still, dreaming big requires courage because it comes with resistance. The moment you begin to dream beyond your current level, voices will rise, both external and internal. People will say, be realistic. Don't get your hopes up. That's not possible for someone like you. Worse, your own inner critic will echo those doubts. But you must learn to recognize the difference between a voice of caution and a voice of limitation. One protects you, the other imprisons you. Instead of listening to fear, listen to the dream. Feed it, visualize it, speak it out loud, write it down, build a mental picture of the future you want, and revisit it daily. This is not a fantasy, this is preparation. It's how you program your mind to start noticing opportunities and taking steps toward your goal, even when it feels far away. Big dreams don't come alive overnight, but they do come alive the moment you give yourself permission to believe in them. Remember, the dream is the blueprint. It's the starting point for everything else. Without vision, effort has no aim, discipline has no focus, and life has no passion. But when you dare to dream big, truly big, you unlock the part of yourself that is limitless, resilient, and deeply powerful. So don't ask yourself what's realistic. Ask yourself what's possible. Don't measure your dreams by what you've already done. Measure them by who you have the potential to become. The world doesn't need more people playing small. It needs more people who are brave enough to dream big and bold enough to pursue it. When people hear the phrase dream big, it's inspiring, but it can also be overwhelming. The moment you set your sights on something grand, a wave of doubt often follows. Where do I even begin? What if I'm not ready? What if I fail? That's where the second key comes in. Start small. The size of your dream should never paralyze you. Instead, it should energize you to take the very first, smallest possible step. Every towering tree began as a seed. Every massive skyscraper started as a blueprint. Every champion once struggled as a beginner. There is incredible power in starting small, not because your dream is small, but because small steps build strong foundations. Starting small means you honor the process. You don't skip the hard parts. You don't chase shortcuts. You embrace growth, progress, and patience. Too many people wait to begin until they can do it perfectly. They want the plan to be flawless, the conditions to be ideal, and the confidence to be absolute. But perfection is a trap. It delays progress and feeds procrastination. The truth is, you won't have all the answers when you start, and you don't need them. What you need is to begin. Progress is born not from knowing everything, but from doing something. Consider any major accomplishment in history. Scientific breakthroughs, successful businesses, social movements. They all began with one small action. A note scribbled in a journal. A single conversation, a prototype built in a garage. That tiny step may have looked insignificant at the time, but it carried the weight of the dream behind it. Every step you take in the direction of your goal, no matter how small, creates momentum, and momentum beats motivation every time. Starting small also allows you to learn as you go. When the stakes are low, your mistakes are your greatest teachers. You can experiment, adapt, and grow without fear of catastrophic failure. You begin to build confidence, not because you're achieving massive success immediately, but because you're showing up daily. Consistency, not size, is what builds habits and character. Let's say your dream is to become a successful author. You don't have to write a best-selling novel today, but you can write one paragraph. You can journal for 5 minutes. You can commit to reading one chapter of a book every night. That's how books are born, one page at a time. Want to get healthy? Don't try to change your entire lifestyle overnight. Start by drinking one more glass of water, taking a 15-minute walk, swapping out one unhealthy snack. It's not about overhauling your life in a week. It's about building sustainable change, step by step. The beauty of starting small is that it removes the excuse that I'm not ready. You may not be ready to change the world, but are you ready to take the next small action? That's the real question, because small actions don't stay small for long. They grow, they compound, they begin to form habits, which become routines, which shape your identity. In a world obsessed with instant results and viral success, it's easy to underestimate the power of humble beginnings, but don't be fooled. Starting small doesn't mean thinking small. It means you believe in your dream enough to build it from the ground up. It means you trust the process more than the applause. It means you're willing to show up, even when no one is watching. There's also something deeply empowering about doing what you can, where you are, with what you have. You don't need 1 million followers to start making an impact. You don't need perfect circumstances to start a movement. What you need is a willingness to begin, exactly where you are. If you wait for the perfect time, you'll be waiting forever. But if you start small, you've already begun winning. So whatever your dream is, stop obsessing over how far you still have to go. Instead, focus on the next right step, not 10 steps, not a giant leap, just the next small one, because greatness is rarely born in a moment. It's built in thousands of tiny ones. Start small, but start. There is something you've been meaning to do, a goal, a project, a dream that keeps nudging you in quiet moments. You've thought about it, talked about it, maybe even planned it in your head 100 times, but you haven't started. You're waiting for the perfect time, for more clarity, more confidence, more support, more money, more certainty. And in that waiting, days become weeks, weeks become months, and months become years, until one day, you realize you've spent more time preparing to live than actually living. That's why the third and most crucial step in any big dream is simple but powerful: act now. There is no such thing as the perfect moment. Waiting for the stars to align is a delay tactic dressed as wisdom. Life will never pause to make room for your dreams. It's messy, it's unpredictable, but action doesn't need perfection, it needs courage. The decision to begin, in spite of fear or uncertainty, is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. Action has energy. It has momentum. It builds belief in a way that thinking never can. You can read every book, watch every video, listen to every podcast, but nothing replaces the learning and growth that come from doing. Action turns ideas into reality. It gives your dream legs, movement, and form. Every time you take a step, no matter how small, you declare to the world and to yourself, "I'm serious about this." Many people convince themselves they're not ready, but readiness is a myth. You don't become ready before you act. You become ready because you act. Think about anyone you admire: an entrepreneur, an athlete, a leader, an artist. They didn't begin fully prepared. They began while still learning, still doubting, still afraid, but they started, and the act of moving forward, despite the fear, is what transformed them into the person they needed to be. Action also silences fears. When you sit still, your mind becomes a breeding ground for doubt. You start imagining everything that could go wrong, but when you act, your focus shifts. You become too busy building to be afraid of failing. Even if you stumble, you're still moving forward, you're learning, you're progressing. And every action sharpens your direction and deepens your resolve. Another reason to act now is simple: time is not guaranteed. Too often, we act as if we'll live forever, but tomorrow is never promised. The dream that lives inside you today might not burn as brightly next year. Opportunities fade, energy wanes, regret grows. The longer you wait, the more power you give to fear and doubt. But when you act now, even in a small way, you reclaim control. You tell time, "I won't let you slip away." While I hesitate, some people worry, what if I make a mistake? But failure isn't the enemy of dreams. Inaction is. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. They teach you, they shape you. In fact, the most successful people in the world aren't the ones who avoided failure. They're the ones who failed forward, fast, and often. Every mistake made in motion is a lesson that brings you closer to mastery. Still others ask, what if I'm not good enough yet? But greatness doesn't show up at the beginning. It shows up somewhere in the middle, after you've started, after you've stumbled, after you've kept going. Your skills, your strength, your resilience, all of these grow through action, not before it. You don't need to feel confident to act. You act, and confidence is the reward. So if you're waiting for permission, this is it. If you're waiting for the sun, this is it. There will never be a perfect time. There will only be now. And now is powerful. Now is possible. Now is enough. You don't need to take a giant leap. You just need to move. Send the email, make the call, sketch the ideas, register the domain, write the first paragraph, post the first video, make the first sale. Whatever your dream demands, do that today. Because every big dream that was ever accomplished began with someone who was willing to take imperfect action at the exact moment they were most tempted to wait. Be that person. Don't just dream it. Don't just plan it. Act on it. Now. You've dreamed big. You've started small. You've acted now. But there's one more key that determines whether your dream will remain a spark or become a fire that lights up your life and the lives of others: consistency. The truth is, dreams don't fail because they're too ambitious. They fail because people give up too soon. In a world that glorifies speed and overnight success, it's easy to forget that the most powerful force behind any achievement is not intensity, it's consistency. Think about it. A single drop of water doesn't shape a stone, but thousands of drops over time can carve valleys through mountains. That's what consistency does. It may not feel exciting in the moment, but over time, it becomes unstoppable. It transforms effort into excellence. It turns habits into identity, and it's the difference between a win and a result. Most people start strong. They're excited, motivated, they make progress, but when the initial thrill wears off and the results don't come fast enough, they slow down. They lose focus, they get distracted or discouraged. But success doesn't come to those who are occasionally motivated. It comes to those who are repeatedly committed. It's not about doing everything in one day. It's about doing something every day. Consistency builds trust with others and with yourself. Every time you show up, even when you don't feel like it, you prove that you can be counted. You prove that your dream matters to you. More importantly, you build integrity. Your brain begins to believe, when I say I'll do something, I mean it. That's how confidence is built. That's how confidence is built, not by talent or talk, but by following through. The compound effect of consistent effort is one of the most powerful forces in life. 1 page a day becomes a book in a year. 10 push-ups a day becomes a stronger body. 15 minutes of practice a day becomes mastery over time. The people who achieve extraordinary things aren't doing extraordinary things every day. They're doing ordinary things consistently. That's the real secret. But let's be honest, consistency isn't always glamorous. It can feel repetitive. It can feel slow. Sometimes it's boring, but that's the discipline that separates dreamers from doers. Showing up when it's easy is one thing. Showing up when you're tired, uninspired, or discouraged, that's where champions are made. Every time you push through resistance, you become mentally stronger. You condition your mind to stay the course, no matter the obstacle. One of the best ways to stay consistent is to simplify your process. Don't wait until you have 3 hours to work on your dream. Find 20 minutes. Don't rely on motivation. Rely on systems. Set routines that pull you forward, even when your emotions try to pull you back. Consistency isn't about perfection. You will have off days. You will miss a step. That's okay. What matters is that you never let a slip become a stop. One off day doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human. Just get back up and keep moving forward. Accountability also fuels consistency. Whether it's a mentor, a friend, a journal, or a calendar, track your progress. Celebrate your small wins. Remind yourself how far you've come. Your dream may still be far off, but every consistent action brings it closer. And every day you stay in the game, you're becoming the person capable of handling the dream when it finally arrives. It's easy to look at people who've made it and think they're just lucky or they're naturally gifted. But behind every lucky break is usually years of quiet, consistent effort. They stayed in the gym. They kept writing. They kept showing up. You may not see the results right away, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. Something is happening inside you. Every time you choose to keep going, your mindset is sharpening, your discipline is deepening, and your dream is getting closer. So if you've dared to dream big, started small, and acted now, don't stop short. Don't burn out in the middle. Stay consistent. Be relentless. Be patient. Your dream doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be faithful, to show up every day, especially on the hard days, especially when it feels like nothing is working, because that's when you're being tested and built. In the end, it's not the size of your dream, the brilliance of your plan, or the speed of your progress that defines your success. It's your willingness to keep going, to keep showing up, to keep believing, building, and becoming, day after day. Every great journey begins with a decision to believe that where you are right now does not define where you will end up. Maybe your dream feels far away. Maybe your circumstances seem impossible. Maybe fear is whispering, you're not enough. But let me remind you of this truth. You are not here to play small. You are here to build, to create, to rise. You've been given a vision, not to intimidate you, but to ignite you. Dream big. Let your imagination stretch beyond your comfort zone. Don't shrink your vision to fit your surroundings. Instead, expand your capacity to match your calling. The dream you carry matters, and it matters not just for you,
but for the people your courage will inspire, and the lives your purpose will touch. But dreaming alone is not enough. Once the vision is born, you must bring it to life, one small step at a time. Start small. Don't underestimate the power of small beginnings. Don't despise the days when it feels like no one is watching, or nothing is working. Every seed planted with faith and persistence eventually breaks the surface. Greatness is not found in giant leaps. It's found in the quiet discipline of daily effort. And whatever you do, act now. Stop waiting for everything to make sense. Stop waiting to feel perfectly ready. You don't need to have all the answers to begin. You just need to move. Because action creates clarity. Action builds courage. Action tells the universe, and yourself, that you are serious. You don't get closer to your dream by standing still. You move one decision, one bold step at a time. And finally, stay consistent. Anyone can be excited for a moment. Anyone can take action for a week. But the ones who win are the ones who refuse to give up. Even when it's slow. Even when it's silent. Even when it's silent. Even when it's hard. Consistency doesn't always look impressive, but it is always powerful. Keep showing up. Keep believing. Keep building. Your future is not built in a day, it's built daily. So ask yourself, what would happen if I committed, not just in my heart, but in my habits? What would happen if I believed so deeply in my dream, that I was willing to begin imperfectly, and continue relentlessly? Because that is how dreams become reality, not with magic, not with luck, but with vision, effort, action and consistency. You don't have to be extraordinary to begin, you just have to begin to become extraordinary. The next chapter of your life is waiting, not someday now. So dream boldly, start humbly, move immediately, stay faithfully. Your time is not coming, your time is here, and it begins with what you choose to do today. Thank you so much.